Well, we're talking about divorce issues, and sometimes it doesn't sound like we're talking about divorce issues, and that's because there are just so very many parts to a divorce. Nobody just gets divorced because there are multiple parts and multiple aspects to a divorce. That's why it's such a nightmare to get a divorce. Nobody has an easy squeezy, I'm in and out in 5 minutes divorce, but some people do. And some people have the ability to reach an agreement, and some people have the ability to hire a single attorney and be done with the relationship within a 60 to 90 day window. Now, Fuller, the heck you say, how is that even possible? Well, first of all, there are very few people who are getting a divorce that have the ability to continue to communicate with each other, but some do. And in the situation where you have the ability to, say, hey, we can't be together anymore, but let's communicate. Let's try to figure out a healthy way to split up the stuff that we bought while we were married. And let's figure out a healthy way to divide the children, or not divide them like, their cards in a deck, but divide their time so that we both get to spend time with them. And then let's figure out a way to financially support them with the little income that we have, because we both have to support them. Now, that means that, we all have to chip in. We all have to split the, extra expenses. But it doesn't mean that we have to do ridiculous things. So it doesn't mean that somebody gets to sign them up for ballroom dancing classes on Mars, and you have to pay for, a space flight every other year and take out a loan that you will never pay off. No, it doesn't mean that. But it does mean that if the parents agree, hey, let's both play soccer. Hey, softball sounds pretty good. You need to split the cost of the uniform. You need to split the cost of the stuff. Now, I know some of those softball bats are $1 million. We're not saying that you have to go get the Ghost Whisperer so, Sally can hit the ball into Idaho. But what we are saying is, probably you need to split the cost of the cleats. Or, hey, how about this year you get the cleats, next year I'll get the cleats. And I think you could hear from the tone that most people don't have the ability to do that, especially when you're really mad at each other at that critical point where we decide, hey, we can't be together anymore. But if you can get there, one person has the ability to hire an attorney, and the attorney can put together all the paperwork, type up the agreement of the parties, and file the divorce. Then Arkansas says, hey, after the divorce is filed, let's wait 30 days. Let's cool off for 30 days just to make sure we don't change our mind. And then after that 30-day period, the two of you can do a property settlement agreement, which is basically a contract saying, hey, this is how we're going to split up all our stuff. This is how we're going to share the kids. And the party who didn't hire the attorney will sign a waiver. Then we'll do depositions. We'll put on a little fax, and we'll forward it all to the judge with a decree. And whammo, bammo, you will be divorced in, usually a 60 to 90-day window. And you can move on, and you don't have the headache, and you can save all your money for your kids, or at least to do the thing that you couldn't do when you were married. So I say all that to say this. There is a possibility for an uncontested divorce, but you got to reach an agreement on everything. Even if you're fighting over the dog, the futon, the stupid fountain in the back that you didn't want to buy, but they wanted to buy, and now they want it and you don't want it, or blah, blah, blah. You know how those fights go. Sometimes it's just over spite. I've got to have the armchair, or there's going to be heck to pay. Hopefully you're not dealing with all that mess. Hopefully you've got an agreement, and Fuller Bumpers can wrap it up for you. But whether you have an agreement or you don't have an agreement, still give Fuller Bumpers a call and let him be the guy who's going to help you with your divorce. He'll bring you in, he'll sit down with you, and he'll work through everything to make you and your family get headed in a better direction.